Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. What are we going to do today is we're going to do GitHub OIDC connection with AWS. So in the enterprise level, so let's say we want to create an S3 bucket. How do we create? Either do we use AWS console like this. Let me share my screen. Yeah. So we just go to the S3 bucket and we create this um, S3 console and we create the bucket, right? So this is one way. Otherwise, what we will do is we'll go to IAM, generate access key and access name and create key, and then we generate that like using a AWS console, we create that S3 bucket. Okay. But we wanted to do it via GitHub or using a GitOps. Then how do we do it? And you know that GitHub is third party. So even AWS is a separate entity and GitHub is a separate entity. And you wanted to create it, you can't give the credentials to GitHub also, right? Anyone who has access to that repository can get that credentials and they can use it. So how do we do it? So GitHub provides an opportunity for that. Like they suggest using OIDC. OIDC is nothing but OpenID Connect. Okay. So let's say this is my repository. So this is where I'm using it to create anything, and I can use Terraform or AWS anything. Let's just go to the workflow and we'll see what is there in that workflow. Okay, I wanted to create an S3 bucket. Let's say a developer needs an S3 bucket and I wanted to create it. So we can provide the name of that bucket and which region it has to be created. Okay. Once that is given, so what it does is the GitHub itself provides a reusable workflow to create to generate credentials. Generate credentials meaning connecting between GitHub and AWS. So there will be a short-lived um, credentials that will be provided by AWS. Once the job is done, the credentials get expired. Okay, so it gets expired and it cannot be reused. And even the credentials are masked at GitHub blocks. Okay, that I will show. So this is some code that I have generated from Gemini AI. Okay, so concentrate on this. If you see here, there is one more input. It is asking which role to assume. Okay, based on the role based on the role, it will have access to create S3 bucket or not. It will be there. Let's say I'm creating an admin role. Admin has all the access and he can create anything. Let's say I'm creating some very sophisticated role saying that he has only access only for S3 and he doesn't have access to any other thing like EC2 or EKS. It doesn't have any access to it. Okay, let's cut this. Let me go through the implementation directly. Okay, first, in order to do this, first we need to go to the sign into your AWS console. Okay, log into your AWS console and then go to IAM. Okay, so in the IAM, we need to configure certain things so that GitHub can access AWS. Okay, first thing is we need to go to this identity providers. Okay, OIDC is nothing but OpenID Connect, and we need to create an identity for that GitHub. Okay, so for that, yeah, uh, here you can see that there is no identity provider. We just add provider. So it asks whether it is using a SAML or OpenID Connect. We are going to use OpenID Connect. Okay, and using OpenID Connect, it asks for the provider URL. Who is the provider? GitHub is the provider. So GitHub provides this URL. I'll just copy that and paste it here. Yeah. So this is the URL. Okay. This is from where it will request for the token. Okay. It will provide a audience. Okay. So this is nothing but an audience. Audience is nothing but sts.amazonaws.com. It will try to get the token from this domain. Okay. So this is the provider URL you need to provide, and this is the audience. Okay. Once this is done, add this provider. Okay, once this is done, created. So we wanted to create a role. Go to the roles. Okay, then create a role. Okay, in the create a role, we have much of options, like whether we are going to create a role for a service or account or SAML or something. We are going to select web identity. Okay, based on the web. So GitHub is hosted on a web. So based on that identity, we are going to use. If you see here, it will ask for identity provider. The identity provider is nothing but which we created previously. That is the token.actions.githubuser.com. And you can see other options also: Google, Facebook, Amazon. We are going to use githubusercontent.com. Okay, then it will ask for our audience. Audience is STS, Amazon, AWS.com, and the GitHub organization. GitHub organization is something which you get after this github.com. If you see here, this is github.com. I'll go back to my thing. Okay, so what was that? GitHub OIDC. This is my, okay, or we can go back. That is also fine. So for my account after github.com, whatever you see, this is my organization. Okay, Manjunath Ganesan is my organization, or your whatever your username or something which comes after github.com. This is the organization. Just copy this. I am copying this. I'm providing this GitHub organization as this. So if you see here GitHub repository, you can provide access only for certain repositories or for all the repositories. Okay, I'll go with all the repositories which is in my organization can use AWS account, but in enterprise level it will be provided to certain repositories and even at the branch level. Okay, as of now we'll go with star, and even this is star. Okay, we'll try this and we'll see how it works. Okay, uh, so this is using existing policy or create inline policy. We can use existing policy. I am going to give an admin access as of now, but if you are doing it at enterprise level, you have to define that policy. You have to give only those permissions which is required. Okay, later after this demo, I'm going to delete this. So I'm just giving a admin access. Next, what is the role name? Okay, I'm going to give our role name as GitHub OIDC role. Okay, GitHub OIDC role, and description: GitHub to connect with AWS account. Okay, then I'm just, if you see here the trust entities, if you see the trust entities, so it trusts this one, this entity. This is the principal federated one. Okay, the GitHub user content, or the request from the GitHub with this audience, and from any repository inside this organization is allowed. Okay, we'll just try this and we'll see. Okay, create this role. So the role is created. Once the role is created, you just need to copy this ARN of this role. I'll just copy this ARN, go back to this GitHub. In the settings, if you have noticed in the workflow, so we are using it from the secrets. If you see here, secret AWS role ARN. So it is not the role name. We have to provide complete ARN. So I'm just going to the settings and create secrets. Where is secret? Did we get that? Secrets and variables. Okay. Inside that, actions. So I'm going to create a secret, new repo secret. I'm going to provide the secret name as this role, and the name which I have given it here, that is AWS role ARN. Just copy this, paste, add the secret. Okay. Only this much. So at GitHub level, you're going to add the ARN. At AWS level, you're going to create an identity, which is where it is. We are going to create this identity provider, and then we are going to create a IAM role. And for this role, we are going to attach this permission. Okay, that's all. So let's try whether it works or not. Okay, finger crossed. So run workflow. I'm just going to give a random name, mg random s3 OIDC bucket. OIDC, don't give a space. Just give mg random s3 OIDC bucket. So usually the S3 bucket's name should be random. Okay. For me, AP South one is the nearest region. So I'm using this. If you want a different region, use a different region. I'm just going to run the workflow. We'll see the logs. What happens? Okay. Fine. We'll see. Yes, it is running. So it's trying to configure, but it is failing. Assuming role with OIDC, it is failing again and again. So did we do something wrong? We'll check. Okay, I've done this before also. We'll see what is the problem. Yeah. Okay, it is going to fail however. I'm going to cancel the workflow. Let me try something. We'll see whether this works. The trust relationships. Just go here, edit the trust policy. I'll just give instead of slash, I'll give at the rate. And we'll try this because GitHub has changed something previously. We'll see whether this will work. Okay, S3 bucket, create an S3 bucket. So let me create it again. Okay, mg random S3 bucket and the workflow. If this, okay. Did you notice here within a second, okay, within a second, it assumed the role, like it took barely 12 seconds and it created the S3 bucket. Okay, from past few months, okay, this even I faced it in my current company also. It was failing for all the new repositories. Okay, so in before we used to give it as a slash, now we have to give as a at the rate. Okay. So let me see if I have updated this in the code also. Let's see if that S3 bucket is created first. Okay. So S3 bucket name is mg random S3 OIDC bucket. Let's see if it is getting got created. S3. Oh, here you see the random bucket that is created here. You see that bucket, right? Okay, if you don't believe me, let me create one more bucket. Okay, you see that there is only one bucket, right? Let me create one more with the same, saying that, okay, we'll give a random name there. So it barely took 17 seconds to, or less than 12 seconds to create that bucket. Okay, so I see this is as a copy bucket or a duplicate. Let's run this workflow. We'll see how much time it does take. So why am I doing this video? Is it very difficult or very easy thing? And why do you need to see this video? Because this is one of the questions that I got it during my interviews for both the rounds. during my technical round and also engineering manager round also. He asked the same question asking how do you connect between GitHub and AWS securely? Okay. So people will say that you just copy that access key and secret in and put it in the GitHub secrets. That is not a proper way. Okay, this is the proper way. So so if you see that that has run, let's see. Okay, duplicate bucket. Let's see if that duplicate bucket is created or not. Let's go to the general purpose, refresh. You see that duplicate bucket got created. Okay, so I'm going to delete this now. Okay, try this tutorial, try, and if there are any issues, you can just comment it out and I'll help you out. Okay, let me update the readme also. So what does it say? Repo your org. Instead of this, you just need to give at the rate and slash star. Okay, this should work. Okay, at the rate. This should work. I'll straight away push this. Okay, push that thing. This should work. So don't forget, use at the rate the policy for the workflow. Okay, we'll see the Gemini updates this. But yes, if you have noticed it properly, I've used at the rate, then star instead of slash star. Okay, this was that. Where is it? I'll just show that trust policy again so that if you face that issue, try to resolve it like that. Okay. Go to the role, GitHub OIDC, then trust relationships. Okay. After your organization, it should be at the rate. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me stop the recording. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.